Welcome back to more The Legend of Zelda, Majora's Mask. Last time, we made it through the inverted stone tower temple, so this time, all that's left is the boss. On the way back to the room, with the final stray fairy, I wanted to mention something that I've been meaning to talk about for a while now. In the 3DS version, you can find quill statues in certain areas, mainly temples and mini-dungeons. Similar to owl statues, these allow you to save the game, but you can't warp to them using the Song of Soaring. I actually really like this addition given the length and complexity of the later temples. Having to do the Great Bay Temple and the Stone Tower Temple in one sitting is actually very daunting, and also the ability to save partway through and actually pick up from that point without having to restart the entire cycle is also really nice. Alright, once we hookshot over here, we have the boss door, but first of all, I want to turn around, defeat the Beamos, and then check the jars behind the Beamos. We are definitely running low on magic, and we need a lot of magic for the next boss fight. Be aware that some of the pots will try to attack you though, but some of the jars are real and will give you item refills. Alright, so we should be good to go, so let's equip our bow and then head through the boss door. Our final temple boss is the giant masked insect Twin Mold. We have to fight two flying Moldorms by either firing arrows at their tails or by using the giant's mask. In the 3DS version, as you might expect, the fight works very differently, and you actually have to use arrows for the first phase because you actually wouldn't have the giant's mask at this point. Also worth mentioning, in this version, the tails actually have elemental weaknesses corresponding to their colors. So the blue Moldorm is weak to fire, the red Moldorm is weak to ice. So yeah, fighting them with arrows isn't great. In the 3DS version, you actually have to aim for eyes on the blue Moldorm's underside. That'll cause it to crash into the ground, and then a giant eye will appear. When you defeat the blue Moldorm, then you'll get the giant's mask, which makes sense that you wouldn't get it earlier because you actually don't use it for the first phase, and if you had played the Nintendo 64 version, you might assume incorrectly that you can use the giant's mask if they had given it to you earlier. Alright, so in this version, we can use the giant's mask for both fights, so let's equip it. In this form, we have access to all of our standard abilities. We can roll, we can use sword attacks, and in general, this fight in this version is extraordinarily trivial with the Giant's Mask. Each Moldorm takes about 6 to 7 hits, so overall this won't be too bad. I'm going to focus on one at a time to make it a little bit easier. Once one is down, it'll be a lot easier because we won't have as many enemies flying around. We also have to keep an eye on our magic because using the Giant's Mask consumes magic. Also, if you go too far away from the center platform, you'll actually fall, so definitely wait for the Moldorms to approach you. Alright, so we should almost have taken out the blue one. It can be a little bit hard to keep track of, especially with the camera in this version, which again is why I want to take out one first, so we have less to worry about. You can also use spin attacks in this form. Alright, one down, one to go. Again, in this form, you can actually attack the head of the Moldorm also, which makes it a little bit easier. It's also difficult because the body doesn't have a hitbox and just kind of knocks you back if you hit that part instead of the tail. It also might be a good idea to actually buy a green potion so you can refill our magic. We barely got through that fight with the magic we had. And also in the 3DS version, the Giant's Mask actually works very differently. Instead of using your sword, you actually punch instead. You can pick up the rubble around the area and throw it at the red Moldorm, or punch it directly to knock it down. When it falls, you have to pick it up and then slam it against the ground. It's a much more dynamic fight, and in some ways it's a lot more interesting having like a two-phase fight rather than fighting both Moldorms in a relatively similar manner like in this version. But I do prefer this fight, even though I think this kind of has a problem similar to Georg of this version's fight being a little bit too easy, especially with the Giant's Mask, and then the 3DS version being overcomplicated. But with that, we have our final set of remains. You've seized Twin Mold's remains. You have just freed the innocent spirit that this dark mask has kept imprisoned within the body of evil Twin Mold. Well, we've helped all of you. That's all we can do. Call us. That's what they're saying. Without being told, we understand. So now you'll help us out in exchange. We'll call you from atop the clock tower, so do something about him, alright? What? Their voices sound sad. You don't want to? Forgive your friend. Forgive our friend? What do you mean by forgive, huh? What friend? And with that, we've saved the Ikana region. To tell the truth, other than the lack of undead around here, not much really changes here. I think we have access to maybe one more thing, but again, as you might guess, gives us a heart piece, so we won't be tackling it quite yet. However, we still have to return the stray fairies over here. Oh, compassionate young one, I am the Great Fairy of Kindness. Thank you for returning my broken and shattered body to normal. As thanks, I grant you the Fairy's Sword. You got the Great Fairy's Sword. Set it to sea to use it. With black roses etched into it, the Great Fairy's Sword is the most powerful of all blades. Come see me whenever you are overcome by weariness. And with that, we have received every reward from the Great Fairies of Termina. Unlike the Kokiri Sword, the Razor Sword, and the Gilded Sword, the Great Fairy Sword is actually an equipable item. I feel like in Virtual Console versions and like the Nintendo Switch Online version, it's not too bad considering that C is often, or Y is often used as an attack button in modern games, but in like the GameCube version or the original Nintendo 64 version, I can see this being a little bit unwieldy. But this is the strongest sword, you still have access to all of our standard abilities like the spin attack, jump attack, and so on, and it's extraordinarily powerful. But with that, we are essentially done in this area for now, so let's equip the Ocarina and then head outside. Actually, let's also equip the Deku Mask. I'll explain in a moment. Since it isn't used during the Stone Tower Temple, I want to at least show off the Elegy of Emptiness form for the Deku. Alright, our next stop is actually, well, we have to buy the mask in Clocktown, but the shop actually doesn't open until 10 PM on the final day, so let's actually warp back to Milk Road. First of all, let's restock on life and magic, and also we're actually still on day 2, so the boulder's here again, which also means that the aliens already took all of the cows, unfortunately. From here, let's equip the bunny hood for later, and then skip ahead to the 3rd evening. Alright, let's equip the bunny hood and then return to Romani Ranch. It kind of feels weird to be back here, especially in a cycle where we didn't help out the ranch. You can actually see the roof of the barn is gone, because that's where the aliens took all of the cows. Alright, I want to make a quick stop at the house over here. Sorry. 2 days ago. My sister. I'm sorry. Our cows are all gone, but please, enjoy yourself. We also want to check upstairs. Perhaps I was wrong. But he said so, the morning of the ceremony. He'd come meet me in my room. And I promised him I would wait, but already, it's too late, isn't it? Anju, the innkeeper, was added to your notebook. I've been a little harsh on Anju, but it's fine this way. Right now, surviving is the important thing. Oh, a tortoise, you're late. Tomorrow is another early day, so good night. I'll read you a story tomorrow. Anju's grandmother was added to your notebook. There's nothing we can do to help Anju in this cycle, so we'll have to keep this in mind for a later cycle. That's everything I want to show here, so let's head back outside. That is a very ominous shot leaving the house, seeing the moon this close. I do find it very fascinating, and one of the things I really like about Majora's Mask is how side quests are often introduced at a point where there's nothing you can do, but you see the characters at their lowest points, which gets you more invested in seeing what led to this, and also makes you want to help more. I think it's a really fascinating way to introduce side content. But with that being said, let's head back to town. We have about 3.5 hours to go still, so let's actually restore the flow of time. And while we wait, I wanted to talk to some of the people around town on this third night. Cowards, all of you! Not a one of you stayed! My apprentice will be disgusted with all of you! I'll have a fine carnival without you! If you're gonna fall, then fall already! So yeah, the carpenter isn't exactly happy that his work is going to go unappreciated because the carnival, or the town, is basically all fled. Next, let's head to the east side. Let's equip the Romani's mask and head back inside the Milk Bar Latte. Welcome. As you can see, all of our customers have taken refuge. It may be my undoing, but I'm the sort of fellow who will stay at his business through thick and thin. And I continue standing here at the counter, hoping one of my favorite customers will appear. And I wasn't wrong. See? You stopped in. Oh dear, are you alright with not fleeing? It looks like this is it for this town, you know? You saw the moon, didn't you? It's gone so huge. All the townsfolk have fled. You should flee too. Far away. Madame Aroma, the mayor's wife, was added to your notebook. Alright, let's head back outside. Our next stop is the mayor's office over here. Captain Viskin. The mayor's orders are absolute. So the gate guards are still standing by. Standing by, cripes. I tell you, it's hard to figure which way things will go. See, because Muto said he would call my wife. The carnival is on. Mayor Dotor was added to your notebook. For reference, Muto is the carpenter we saw earlier. Next, we want to go to the west part of town, so we'll have to cut back through the southern part. Also, there's Stray Ferry and Clock Town at night. Again, it's normally at the laundry pool in the day, and it's over here at night. So, let's head through here. And we want to go to a building at the top of this hill, which is actually the post office. Oh, I want to flee, but it's not written on the schedule. To me, the delivery schedule, it's the highest priority. The postman, whose priority is delivery, was added to your notebook. Yeah. To myself, you have been doing a great job delivering the mail. I have a request for my hard-working self. All of the townsfolk have taken refuge. I want myself to flee too. Even if it is not written on the schedule, I want myself to flee. Please, from me. All the people we've talked to on this final night will be learning more about them in the next cycle, but I wanted to introduce them since we had time before the shop opens, which actually is right about now. Come in! You gotta look around. I'm doing a special sale. Check it out. Tonight's bargain is the all-night mask for use at bedtime. I forgot when this was made, but it sure is a freaky mask, see? When you put it on, you can try to fall asleep, but you won't be able to. Pretty creepy, huh? What'll it be? You got the all-night mask. Apparently, this mask won't let you drift off to sleep even if you want to. Where we'll see. The man from the curiosity shop was added to your notebook. You bought a weird mask. This was added to your notebook. Oh, I don't have nothing else to sell. I kid you not. So, can I buy something? Thanks. Take care, buddy. Two things worth mentioning here. If you get stuff stolen by that bird in Terminal Field, it'll wind up here. And also, if you have, like, Poe Souls, this is where you want to sell them. You'll get a ton of rupees by doing so. Unfortunately, the All Night's mask is tied to a side quest for a piece of heart, but I wanted to make sure we had it nonetheless, especially since we had the rupees for it. It's definitely very disconcerting, actually. It basically forces your eyes open so you can't fall asleep. Let's actually unequip that for peace of mind. Let's equip the bunny hood over here. Let's also move the arrows back, I suppose. But that actually takes care of this cycle. We have everything we need to stop Skull Kid. However, we're still missing quite a few masks. They're all tied to one more side quest that I'd like to do. So next time we'll be learning more about Anju's plight. So thank you for watching, and I hope you'll join me next time for more The Legend of Zelda: Majora's Mask.